bringing you lights, camera, and action. A brand new show every Wednesday at 7 p.m. only on Awaz Entertainment. Hello everyone, good evening. I'm Kubra Ali and welcome to my show Lights, Camera, Action. I hope you had a good day. And first of all, I would like to thank you for supporting and liking my show. And I really got a good feedback from you. So keep watching every week. Today, we have a very interesting guest sitting with us, who is a photographer. So let me welcome Mr. Youssef. Hello.
Hi, Kubra. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And thank you very much for coming on my show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. So Youssef, tell me about yourself. Where are you from and when did you come to Canada?
I am originally from Egypt. I was born and raised there, lived there for 19 years, and
Nice.
I landed in Canada in 2010.
Oh, nice.
And so it's been almost 12 years.
12 years, yes. How do you find Canada?
I found it beautiful. So I've been here for 12 years and I actually went outside of Canada for one time.
Just
to
one
the
time?
US. I just visited the US once and that's it. But otherwise, I'm happy to be here.
So you did not go back to Egypt?
I did not go back. Since the day I immigrated, I haven't been back.
Oh, okay, so any plans to go?
I have a lot on my plate here and a lot of things that I would like to do here. At some point, it would be nice to go home, see family.
True.
But
So your family's over there?
I have family over there, yes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But there are no active plans as it stands right now.
Okay, that's nice. So tell me about your photography. When did you start your career in photography?
Right. I've always had a fascination with electronics, cameras, lights, all that stuff. And I was studying mechanical engineering, and during my third degree, I really got a lot of equipment that has to do with photography. And I ended up photographing a lot of my classmates, a lot of my professors. And it just turned into a business, and I loved it. And from there, I never looked back. I did finish my engineering degree because my parents are Arab. Like I said, I'm from Egypt, so not finishing the degree is not optional.
That's true.
But that's how it came about, and I truly fell in love with photographing people.
Okay, so this is the only business you do, or you have something else as well on the plate?
This is the only business. This is my full-time
business.
Yes.
Oh, great. So what's your any name of the business, for the photography? Did you give any name to it?
Yes, I did. It's YMA Photo. So ymaphoto.com is the website.
Oh, nice. So what kind of photography you do?
I specialize mostly in commercial work, so I'm interested in working with people that want to use the photos to market themselves and make money with them.
Okay.
So I photograph a lot of actors for their headshots to get auditions. I photograph some singers. That's on the entertainment side, and on the corporate side, I photograph a lot of real estate agents, lawyers, dentists.
Nice. So you do everything. You also work with celebrities.
I haven't shot anybody that we can consider a celebrity just yet, although I view my clients as celebrities of their own.
After you take their pictures.
Yeah, I hope so.
That's great. And so what about the weddings or maybe any occasion, parties? What the birthday parties, do you do for that as well or no?
I don't touch that. And the reason is very simple. You've got really two main rooms or two main groups when it comes to photography. You've got photography that is targeted towards weddings, families, baptisms, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you've got photography that's targeted towards commercial work, whereas people hire you because they need the photos so that they can advance their careers. So that's where I am. So that would be headshots, which is what I primarily do, or personal branding, portraiture, or product photography. I don't do product, but it's considered commercial.
Okay.
So the nature of it is that somebody hires you because the job you do is going to help them do their job better. The other group, which is weddings and family and all that stuff, they hire you because they want memories and they want things that will last them a lifetime. And it's
absolutely,
it's less business-like.
Okay.
But it's not my thing.
Okay. But if suppose you get a client who wants you to shoot for their wedding, so what do you what do you do, right?
I have friends who do amazing work when it comes to weddings.
Okay.
And I'm always happy to refer to someone who is a pro at that. The most important thing in photography is niches.
Okay.
It's like medicine. You go to a family doctor for a general thing, but if you have a problem, let's say with your skin, they refer you to a dermatologist.
Absolutely, that's a good answer.
You don't end up with a dentist because you have a problem with your skin.
Yeah.
So it's similar to that.
You always can advise and suggest a few other friends. So that's actually good. Okay. So this question, what is the one thing you wish you knew when you started taking photos?
Wow. I think you're trying to make that 21-year-old in me cry. The one thing I wish I had known earlier is that time is important and being patient is important.
Okay, I know, that's a good answer. When taking photos, I feel that's the best answer you gave.
I still remember the day I picked up the camera. I was like, I'm just gonna conquer the whole world. I'm gonna be Youssef number 2.
Wow.
And Youssef is an Armenian photographer who photographed Winston Churchill.
Okay.
It does take time, and you have to be patient with things.
Absolutely. I think patience is something it is important in every, it's not only photography, but even
in life in general. And I hate it.
Okay.
I can't be patient. I don't like being patient, but it's my only option.
But you are being patient during your
because I wanted so bad. So I'm happy to stick with it for as long as I need to.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me this, how did you get a good photography?
How did I get good at photography?
Yeah.
You have to mess up a lot. You have to. A lot of my friends hated me because we would hang out and I would pull that camera and boom, 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 and they hated it.
Okay.
So you have to learn. You have to look at and I would post them on Facebook groups that are for critique. So it's other people who tell you what they think. And many times I've cried myself to sleep because of things people said. That was like 10 or 11 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think you have to open yourself up to being criticized because otherwise you will never grow.
And never learn, right?
Yeah. And understand that person, one of two things, they're either unhappy themselves and they're just putting negativity out there, or they actually want to help you. And it's not about you as a person. Absolutely. It's just about the work.
Of course.
And that you can be better.
Absolutely, that's nice. Okay, let me ask you a few things about, I think, your cameras. So what gear you use?
The one thing before I answer that, when I photograph somebody and they look at the pictures, they go, "Oh, you've got such a nice camera."
Yeah, and, you don't. It's okay. You don't want to discuss. It's fine.
No, I want to discuss it. I'm happy to discuss it. But before we discuss that, it's very important for people to understand that it's what happens in your head and your understanding of the gear that you have is what really matters. So I use a Canon R5 on bigger projects, which is a full frame camera, about 45 megapixels roughly. It is good for printing stuff, but that's, I would say, less than 20% of the time. 80% of the time, I use a very basic camera, which is an EOS R.
Okay.
It's considered an entry-level camera, but again, it comes back to understanding what you need.
Okay. And this question to you, do you think camera, the gear or the lens is important, or the photography skills are important? What do you think? Or both are important?
Both are important. I mean, there are things, if physics says no, then you can't do it. And so for physics to say yes, you need some certain gear. And this is all about optics.
Absolutely.
Right? So if you want to achieve a certain look, a certain mood, you have to have the proper lighting, you have to have the proper lenses that will create that certain mood. So gear is important, but if I gave you that gear and you don't have the know-how, you're not going to get what you want. Even if you can visualize it, you're not going to be able to get there unless you start studying and understanding.
Absolutely, that's true.
So,
you need to get information first, and we have to learn about it first. So. Yeah. True. Which lens is your favorite, if I can ask you?
I actually had one lens in my arsenal for a long time, and it's the 70-200 f2.8.
Okay.
Most of my work is based on compression, and so you need a long focal length and you need a wide aperture, and that lens gives me both.
Oh, nice. Okay. So when you go out for shoot, right, do you take any essential items other than camera and lens, or?
Yes.
Okay. What are those?
In fact, I remember showing up to a gig one time and I didn't have my camera and lens on me.
Ooh.
But I actually shot the whole thing through my phone. There are things that are very important, like lighting, for example.
Yes.
People think that I'm going to show up with a camera and shoot click, click, shoot. It doesn't
Yes.
work like that. Lighting
Okay.
is probably 60% of the weight of the things I have to carry is lighting.
Oh,
And then there are also backgrounds.
okay.
And then there are lenses and cameras. So it depends on the type of gig that you're showing up to. That gig that I just told you about,
Yeah.
it was very simple. I could actually do it on my phone because I could link my phone to my lights and use my phone camera and my lights to create beautiful images.
So you had your lights that time.
I had my lights.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So of all your photos, right? Which one is your favorite? You want to describe it?
That is a very difficult question.
Maybe you have one or more, so you can let us know.
Most of my work is of people.
Okay.
So it's portraits of people, headshots. I can't find one or two or three. I have too many images that
all
I
our
feel
favorite.
very connected to that bring out a lot of memories. So,
Nice. Okay, whose work influenced you the most?
like I said earlier, Youssef Karsh. Youssef Karsh was photographing Winston Churchill,
Yeah.
and Winston Churchill was smoking a cigarette,
Okay.
or not a cigarette, sorry,
cigar.
a cigar.
Okay.
Right. And he wanted to take the photo, so he snatched it out of his hand, and Winston Churchill got angry. Because who the hell are you to snatch a cigar from my mouth like that?
Okay.
He got angry. Youssef Karsh activated the shutter, and it was actually one of the most famous photos of Winston Churchill.
Okay, I have to actually Google it and see.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Interesting. So that's your he's his favorite.
Obviously, affected a lot of my work.
Oh, nice. So how would you describe your photography style, and what would you compare your work with?
I would describe, not photograph. I describe my photography style as mostly based on psychology. I think when photographers are too absorbed with shutter speeds, apertures, all that stuff, they forget that there is a human there, and that once I point that metal and glass and electronics in your face, you're seeing something that you're not familiar with, and you feel weird, you feel awkward.
Absolutely.
So I really took it from a different perspective, and that is, let me get my technical nailed down. I'm not going to change that. And I'm just going to spend time with the person, get to know them, understand their psychology, understand what's bothering them, and give them breathing room to tell me, Youssef, I'm insecure about 1, 2, 3. Can we do something about that? And I'll share my insecurities with them. There are things that I don't like about my face. You will never be able to see them because you don't have my face. I've had this face for 31 years.
Absolutely. I think that's the reason people are like, people know what flaws you have. Like,
they have.
I know what flaws I have.
Exactly.
Others don't see that.
Exactly. So if you were to tell me I'm self-conscious about this or that, I'd be like, Kubra, I didn't think you would. And say,
that's what happens always.
Yeah.
That's nice. So we'll take a short break.
Sure.
And we'll get back after the break.
That sounds
Thank
good.
you very much. So stay tuned, and we are sitting with Mr. Youssef, a very good photographer. We have more questions, so stay tuned. We'll be back after a short break. Thank you very much. Hello everyone, welcome back to my show. I'm Kubra Ali. You're watching Lights, Camera, and Action. And tonight sitting with me is Mr. Youssef, and we're talking about photography. Welcome back. So, Mr. Youssef, can you tell me about your headshots? So, how long have you been shooting headshots?
Professionally from 2014, so that would make it 8 years probably.
Oh, nice. And how many have you done? How many headshots?
The answer to that would vary because there are three main types of my work. There is a volume headshot session, which is basically a real estate office will call me and say, we've got 20 people, we'd like to shoot all 20.
Right.
And that would happen in one day. These are shorter. They're about 10 minutes to 15 minutes each for each real estate agent. And then there are individual headshot sessions. And these are basically, you just come to me and say, Youssef, I'd like you to do my headshots. And these are more intense and they take a little bit more time.
Okay.
About an hour to an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then there are personal branding. Personal branding work is something I love to do, but it's more premium and it requires a lot of investment on the clients. And because we would have to prepare locations, we would have to prepare a decor, a treatment, and all that stuff. To answer your question, I would say volume would probably be around 2,000 individuals.
Okay.
So it's usually 20 people per shoot. So, and for individual sessions, would probably be looking at about 800.
Okay. So do you shoot digitally with film? Or
I shoot digitally.
both?
I'm old enough to have seen film.
Okay.
And when I was a child, I had a film camera, but it's not practical to shoot with film, especially in an industry like I'm in.
Okay. You don't take videos?
I don't do video, no.
Just the photo shoots?
Just
Headshots.
Commercial headshots.
Okay.
And commercial lifestyle portraiture. And the reason behind that is niche is important.
Okay.
You have to pick something and try to be exceptional at that one thing. But if I were to tell people I can do videos, I can do headshots, I can do newborn photos, etc., 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 then I would probably be 6 out of 10 in each of those categories. But if I were to focus on something and I would become a 9.5 out of 10, that makes me a lot happier, and it's the way to go.
Okay. Do you have a location, or you actually go to places? You do outdoor, indoor? Like, how do you do it?
So I used to shoot a lot outdoors throughout my career in when the weather permitted. Obviously, we are blessed to live in a part of Canada that gets a lot of snow.
I know.
So
Most of the time.
There are probably 6 months of the year that I can't shoot outside. But I did a lot of shoots outside, and when the weather wouldn't permit, then I would rent studios on shoot-by-shoot basis.
Okay.
Right now, I do have my own office that I shoot out of. But every now and then, when there is something that requires a cool location, then I will shoot on location.
Okay. And what about if some, like you said, commercial and maybe some people's business, they want you to come to the office and shoot them?
That's very common.
Oh, that's common. Okay.
Happens probably 3-4 times a month.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. So do you have like an assistant or something who assists you, or you do it by yourself?
I do have assistants who work on freelance basis.
Okay.
I can't do everything. I do all by myself. So I do have assistants who help, and they're mostly actors who become interested in photography.
Oh, okay. Models and actors.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, nice, nice. So what is included in your standard package, if you have one? If you want to discuss about that.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
Standard packages are the bare minimum, and is what I think any person with a head should have.
Okay.
And that's basically a headshot session that's about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. That includes the proofs gallery. So the proofs gallery is a gallery of every single shot I shot. Even the ones where you're blinking, you're about
Maybe
to
we don't
sneeze.
like the ones we don't like as well.
Everything.
Okay.
Everything. And then what you do is you go through that, and then you come back to me and you cry and you say, I can't choose. We've done a really good job, and we've shot over 150 to 100 images. Can you help me choose? And then I'll sit with you, I'll help you choose.
Oh,
and
nice.
I'll give you advice on why I think you should choose certain images over others. And then we will get your favorite 3 images retouched. If you select more than 3, then that's a different package.
Okay, okay. And do you charge a travel fee for what distance? Does it cover any?
If it's about 200 kilometers from the Greater Toronto area, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I've shot stuff in Waterloo. I've shot stuff in London, Ontario, but this is where I would probably charge a travel fee. But Waterloo, I wouldn't charge, for example, or like Whitby, Woodbridge, all that stuff. Greater Toronto area, I don't.
Oh, okay. It's nice. Okay. If you're done headshots with people, do they receive negatives and high resolution digital images, or what do they receive?
So negatives is basically like a film strip.
Yeah.
That is in film photography, but we're doing digital, so there's no physical negative. But what they receive is something similar to that, and it's called the proofs gallery. That's basically a low resolution gallery of all the images.
Okay.
So that they can just have them for their own personal record.
So that's basically online.
That's basically online, yes.
Yeah, and are these accessible like for how long? I would ask, like for a few months or for life?
Yeah.
Oh, great. That's nice. Okay, so do you post the headshots on the social media, on websites?
With permission.
Oh, okay,
so
not for everyone.
When I shoot someone, some people will say, hey, I'm actually doing something that is kind of confidential. Either they're running for politics or they got a promotion.
Absolutely.
Some people update their headshots when about to jump ship from their company.
Oh, okay.
And if I go online and say, oh, I just shot with this person, and their boss sees it, they might start thinking, okay, they're about to leave us. So if they give me permission, then I'm more than happy to post, because it does help my business to show people the work that I do with others, especially that I depend on social proof a lot. But if you obviously don't give me permission, then I will never violate that.
And how about magazines and blogs?
I have not been published yet, but hopefully soon.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, so tell me exactly what do you want to say with your photographs, and how do you actually get your photographs do that for you?
I didn't think about that. I do love that question. I don't want to say anything with my own photos. I want my photos to say things to the people that are in them. I think we are told a lot of weird things about how we look, especially at a young age. Family members will say, your teeth are crooked, your nose is big, your this is that. And I'm like, are you trying to damage this child's psyche at a very young age? Like, what are you doing? And these are people that might love us. And so
Absolutely.
What I want my photos to do is to make the people that are in the photos love how they look and understand and be grateful for everything they have and be confident in everything they have, even if they do have flaws. I do have flaws. But I try to look at photos of myself and feel like, you know what, there is a lot of good things about me and I'm going to accept that and I'm going to be confident about it.
Nice. So what motivates you to continue taking pictures economically, politically, intellectually, or emotionally?
Emotionally would come first.
Okay.
I think there are periods, for example, when I'm really busy, I'm really happy. My self-worth is great. I feel great about myself. But for example, when COVID-19 hit, and I was just stuck home for whatever number of months, that emotional kick that you get when you make somebody fall in love with themselves is really why I do what I do. And it made me really unhappy to be unable to do that for 3 months, 4 months, back to back.
Right.
Intellectually, I think I learn a lot from my clients. I have a very interesting crowd. I photograph a lot of people who do things that are not common. And so I've learned things from them that you wouldn't learn in another job. And that would be one thing I'm really grateful for.
Nice. So like you said about the COVID, what do you think, how did it affect your business? Did it really affect or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it did.
It did affect my business, but more so it affected my own ability to come back to business. Because when you're happy, you're doing photo sessions with people, and all of a sudden you're told that, okay, no, you're gonna stay home.
I know, you can't meet people.
And it's not that I'm for or against anything. I'm just saying my own experience.
Right.
That really affected me. And when you come back and you're like, ooh, okay, let's do it. We're back. And the first time the lockdowns were lifted in the end of June 2020, things exploded. I shot an insane amount of people from July 2020 to like almost November. And that was the second lockdown.
Yeah.
And that feeling of, oh crap, that's gonna happen again. They're gonna lock us down again. And then they open again and we're ready to do things again. It just the roller coaster, the emotionals, the ups and downs.
Absolutely.
It was really devastating. But I'm glad that we're out of it now, hopefully, and that we are somewhat, back at it with full force. I do hope that businesses recover. A lot of businesses have suffered because of the up and down.
Yeah. What's your values as a photographer?
It would have to be how people feel about themselves is number one.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of friends who tell me, I've went to this person, we did a photo shoot, and I felt crap about myself. I don't want to leave somebody...
Why do you think people say that?
2 reasons.
Okay.
You can show up to a photo shoot feeling like you don't look good.
Yeah.
You do a lot of negative self-talk. You tell yourself, oh my God, my this is that, this is not great, blah, blah, blah. And when you show up to the photo shoot, you kind of... When I take a photo, you see all of those things and everything starts to go downhill. But that usually is fixable if the photographer's energy is up there and correct. If I had a consultation with you, I sat down with you, I said, Kubra, we're gonna do a photo shoot. What are the things that bother you about your photos? What are the things that you love about your photos? What are the things that you love about your face? And you tell me those things and I walk you through the whole process. And when we're doing the photos, I am calm, I am connected with you, and I'm not really focused on the camera, I'm focused on you, then I can get you to let go of all of those negative thoughts and then you can start to shine. And once we capture one image that surprises you and you go, oh, that's not so bad, once that happens, everything goes in a snowball effect where you actually get a lot better photos.
Right. So like you told me about this, do you if suppose somebody, your client, is not comfortable in front of camera, so how do you make that person comfortable?
That's a good question. It depends on the person.
Okay.
There are people who are easy to trick into being comfortable. And basically the biggest trick I use is that to distract them from the fact that I'm taking their photo.
Oh, okay.
When I am a monkey behind the camera and they're laughing at my jokes and they're laughing at everything,
wow,
they forget and they start to smile in a genuine way. So mostly that works on 99% of people.
Nice. And how do you direct them during the shoots?
I use my own body and I use my own energy.
Oh, okay.
So you'll notice that you're mirroring everything I'm doing. If I look at you and smile, you'll find that you're looking at me and you're smiling.
Yeah.
So that is the easiest way to get somebody to do something you want. Because if I tell you smile, I'm going to take a photo of you, we're going to get this. Nobody wants that.
Absolutely.
It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So if I'm smiling, then they tend to be smiling. If I'm happy,
something coming up naturally on their face.
Exactly. But sometimes I do direct them in a way that's conscious and clear. I'll say, move your body that way, do this that way. But I never ask people to smile.
Okay.
Because this happens. And I'm not interested in that.
I know, and it doesn't look natural.
Yeah.
I think that natural photography should come.
Yes.
Yeah. And what about the dress code? What do you think? Like, do you suggest them wearing something, or do you just, keep them whatever they're wearing?
That's a great question.
Like, do you actually do that?
I do, yes.
Okay.
So my process involves a free consultation. When you reach out to me, you say you want to do a photo shoot, I'll say, let's do a consultation. And in the consultation, it's kind of similar to this interview. Because I'll go through everything with them.
Right.
And one of the things that I go through is wardrobe. I always tell people, especially if they're actors or models, wardrobe is there to assist you and it's there to enhance your look, but it's not a fashion show.
Absolutely.
So we don't want wardrobe that will take over the picture. We want wardrobe that will just complement you. Same goes for makeup and hair and all that stuff. For corporate, things can be a little bit more forgiving.
Okay.
Because with corporate, nobody's looking at your picture and deciding your fate. But with actors and models, casting directors are sitting there and they're looking at those photos, and those photos are probably going to be why you could get into the room or not. Obviously, in addition to your resume and other factors.
Absolutely.
But photos are incredibly important.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you really are.
Okay, so can you tell me about like you actually told me the actresses dress up. So do you offer them as well? Because I have seen some photographers like you who do headshots. They actually offer outfits. So do you do that as well, or you don't?
Maybe I should.
See?
But I don't.
Okay.
It would probably be too much of a hassle to try to find clothing that is of different sizes and that would suit a lot of different people. It's probably easier to get people to show me their own clothing, and then I'll select some of their own
maybe
clothing.
on the phone and just send you some pictures.
Exactly. They send me some pictures via email, and I'll respond back. I'll say, hey, listen, I hate 1, 2, 3, and I love 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Things that I generally hate are patterns. So this, for example, I wouldn't want you to show up with a pattern like that.
Oh, just plain color.
Yeah,
Okay.
It doesn't have to be super duper plain. If there is some pattern, it's fine. But if it's a zebra pattern or
not
like
too much, which is like
checkerboard pattern, then it really takes away from your look.
And what about the colors? Do you suggest any colors according to their profile or?
I don't limit people to colors. I don't tell people wear certain colors. What I tell them is that think about contrast. So if you're wearing like a blue denim jacket and you wear a blue shirt underneath it, there is no contrast there. So if you wear a blue denim jacket, wear something that's white underneath it, or maybe burgundy, just so that it pops and gives some contrast.
So it was nice talking to you, Youssef. We'll take a short break and we'll come right after the break. So
sounds good.
It was nice talking to Youssef, and we'll keep talking to him. So let's take a short break and we'll be back after the break. Thank you very much. Hello everyone, I'm Kubra. Welcome to my show, Lights, Camera and Action. And we are here after the break with Mr. Youssef. Hello, welcome back. So Mr. Youssef, I have a few more questions with you. So tell me, what is one thing that culture in general would you like to change?
About photography?
Yeah, about photography, yes.
I wish people understood that photography is just like any other job.
Okay.
A lot of people have interest in photography, and so there are 3 main things that I don't love about the culture. of people hiring photographers. Number one is that a lot of people think that photography is something that anyone can do. And yes, you can just pull out your iPhone and take amazing photos, but if you want to actually hire somebody to do a very specific niche job, then you have to understand and respect their expertise, right? So that is to say, it's not a good idea to go tell people how to do their job when it comes to photography. It's easier if you let us do our job the way we know works. That would be really number one. And then number two is, it's kind of similar also, but you have to understand that we have to be able to make a living. You show up and we take photos of you and you think, oh, this guy charged me $500 for 1 hour, but it's not true. I charge you $500 or $600 for an hour because I know what to do and how to give you what you want in an hour. Someone else might charge you $50 and stay with you for 3 days, and you're not going to get anywhere near close.
Absolutely.
So these would be the really most important things that I would like to see about culture changes. The third would be that we need to understand that photos have an impact. When we take photos and we post them on social media, it impacts how others see us. And when you take a lot of photos back to back and things that might actually make people, not love you as much. Or if you don't take as many photos as you should and you're not present enough, then you might not be able to build a connection with your audience as much.
That's true. That's nice. Okay, what impression or fact for having a good or bad headshot having on someone? Like what kind of impression?
That's a great question. I remember when I was just starting my my photography business, I was in third year degree in my engineering degree. I was told I need to go see a counselor for health problems. I Googled her name, looked at the pictures like, oh dear God, I don't want to see that person. She looked terrified. She looked like somebody was tasing her or something.
Oh.
It didn't look inviting at all. And I almost decided that I'm not going to go see her. And then one day I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's the department recommendation. I'll do it. I showed up and she was very confident. She was very helpful. She was very compassionate. Oh. Everything that is not in the picture. In the picture, I saw somebody who was scared, not compassionate, not able to communicate and help, right? It almost stopped me from...
So pictures actually tell a lot about a personality.
Of course.
Wow.
Of course. And you could be an amazing person and shoot yourself in the foot by a headshot that doesn't work for you.
I know. That's actually a good thing. I think everybody in general should actually understand that concept. Yeah. Okay, how often should you update headshots?
That's a great question too. I would say when your look changes significantly, so like significant weight loss, significant hair loss, or hairstyle change, facial hair change. Ideally, you would like to have an impression that you make on people online that is kind of similar to how you look in real life. So that when you show up, let's say I find you on LinkedIn and you're a TV host. You have a picture that's 15 years old and your hair was not blonde or something. I'm not saying you.
I know.
in general. And I show up and I see Kubra as a blonde.
And a different personality.
I'm like, okay, you can trust someone when you see their picture online and you see them in real life and there is some congruency.
Some connectivity as well.
You feel like that's the same person that you've connected with previously on the internet. So keep your expectations, keep the people's expectations of you in check, in the sense that you need to look like your headshot.
Okay, so maybe in the present.
Yes.
Don't put past pictures.
Exactly. And if something changes, let's say you decide to go brunette, then update your headshots.
Absolutely. That's great.
You're doing great as a blonde. So.
Thank you. Okay. What mistakes people do when there's headshots taken? Your clients.
Yeah, great. A lot of mistakes. This can make this interview 3 hours.
Oh, God. So we start now.
Yes. I think the most common mistake, and that never happens to my clients, is that they find someone on the internet, they shoot them an email, they say, hey, I need headshots for LinkedIn or whatever. The photographer shoots them a PDF that has a lot of numbers in it, and they just pick a package that they feel comfortable with and they show up and boom, done. That is disastrous because first of all, numbers don't really matter when it comes to photography. One of the things, like I said, I do give people 3 retouched images in my basic package. Other photographers for half the price will give you 25 edited images.
Oh, okay.
And when you look at those and you look at images from a different photographer, you should be able to see the difference and understand that makes an impact.
Okay.
So the biggest mistake is thinking about numbers in a quantitative manner. It's not a commodity. Headshots and photography in general are not something that is equal from a photographer to a photographer.
Okay.
If you're buying a Honda Civic and a dealer in Brampton gives it to you for $25,000 and a dealer in Mississauga gives it to you for $23,000, go for $23,000. It's the same car, right?
True.
But when it comes to photography, it's not the same.
It's not the same. The car is different.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is a very interesting question I'm going to ask you. So nowadays you see the filters. Everywhere people are using the filters. And because people are using the filters, their expectations for them have changed, I feel.
Yeah.
So when there's real photography going on, they don't like the flaws and the wrinkles and the skin texture on them. Yes. If your client asks you or requests you to change all that, put some filters and anything, change his wrinkles or maybe blur his face, wrinkles, whatever texture.
Yeah.
What do you do at that time?
I try to explain to them that it's not real.
Okay.
Right? People form their expectations from selfies mostly. And what they don't understand is that your phone is a camera that's attached to a computer.
Okay.
So your phone processes that, makes your skin look smoother, makes your eyes look brighter, etc., etc., etc. But when I take a photo of you, none of that happens. And so I have to post-process your shots out of my own, taste.
Okay.
So when they tell me, okay, remove all the wrinkles, or I'm not happy, I look old, etc., 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 I try to explain to them that you really want to set an expectation that's similar to what you look like, and that you don't want people to think that you're self-conscious about the wrinkles. It's fine to be self-conscious about wrinkles. I don't want to age. You don't want to age. Nobody wants to age. But when you do end up removing them in post and you post it online, people don't think, oh, this person looks young. No, they think this person used a filter.
Okay.
Because we know you used the filter.
Yeah, everybody's doing that these days.
Yeah.
So what do you think, what do you suggest to your clients at that point? Like if they want you to blur do you do that for them?
I gauge their comfort.
Okay.
If I feel like it's going to destroy somebody and it just makes them really sad, if I don't remove the wrinkles, then I will remove the wrinkles. I'll just give them advice and say, it's probably not a good idea to put that out there because it is not an accurate representation.
Okay.
That said, in my shots, I usually tone down the wrinkles. So I don't remove them, but I make them less apparent, because when you're using like a Canon R5, that you see details, I see details on people's faces they will never see because it's a very high-res camera.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy to tone down things and make you look polished and good, but not to the point that you're like, it's a fraudulent representation. If they do end up insisting, I just give them advice and I do whatever that they ask, just to make sure that they are happy. But on the inside, I feel like I'm dying a little bit.
Yeah, you're a photographer, so you would feel that.
Yes.
And one last question.
Of course.
For tonight.
Of course.
I have one more question. Nowadays, people are very judgmental about the pictures. I can see, if there is few flaws looking at a person, they start judging on them. They start giving, harsh comments. Oh my God, you look old. You look like, you look weak, this and that. So at that point, what do you suggest if you have taken a picture and maybe, that client of yours has shared that picture and there are few comments which are negative, at that time, what happens?
First of all, I don't wish that on anybody. It's not a nice thing to experience.
Yeah.
But if people give you a negative comment, it's either one of two things. They're either unhappy themselves and they're bitter and they're just projecting that on you.
Okay.
Trying to bring you down. Or two, they're genuinely trying to help you. So it happens with actors, for example.
Yeah.
Sometimes actors will go do headshots and there will be some major problems.
A lot of trolls on their pictures.
There is a lot of trolls, but there could also be a lot of people that are trying to actually help you. So take the comment, understand what it says, and think to yourself, is this true? Is there truth to it? Because you could go to a bad photographer.
I know.
You could go to a photographer that doesn't highlight your face and make you look as good as you possibly could. So if it's not about you and it's not like people are not telling you you're ugly, find out if there is some truth to what they said and try to fix it.
Absolutely.
So an example of that is if you have like a corporate headshot, and I have a friend of mine who didn't update his corporate headshots since 1997, which means I was 6 years old when this guy didn't update their headshots. And people are bugging them. You need to update it. You need to update it. You don't look the same.
Yeah.
They do come across as cruel or negative comments.
Okay.
But there is truth to them.
Absolutely.
And he is a good-looking man. If he had updated his headshots, he can get rid of all that.
Absolutely.
But like I say, people on the internet are just strangers hiding behind keyboards. You're not gonna tell me to my face, Youssef, you're fat. But if I post it on
you're not fat.
Thanks. But if I post it on like photo fillers or something, you might find yourself able to say something like that. You would never say that to someone in real life.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time and for answering such a nice answer. I really enjoyed taking your interview tonight.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed being here.
Thank you so much, Youssef. Any advice for your audience tonight?
Never be afraid of getting your shot taken. Always connect with the photographer. Understand that it's a relatively emotional process. You're not buying a commodity. You're buying something that will affect how you feel about yourself. So do it wisely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So this was our guest tonight, very interesting guest, Mr. Youssef. So thank you very much for watching. Any feedbacks, you can always comment or email at Awaz Entertainment Television. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be next week. I'll come back with another guest. So stay tuned and have a good night. Thank you. I'm bringing you Lights, Camera and Action, a brand new show every Wednesday at 7 p.m. only on Awaz Entertainment.